Okay, so we're live. I'm not sure how long I accidentally got that going. Anyway, my name is Pauline Campos. I am Latina Magazine's advice columnist, the Mila advice columnist, and I am also blogger and writer at aspiringmama.com. And I started ChingonaFest because I wanted um, a way to remind myself and kind of focus my thinking on purposefully and intentionally raising a Chingona. Now, for those who don't know, if you haven't stumbled across my happy little corner of the internet previously, I've been writing about self-love, self-confidence, positive body image, positive self-image as it relates to everything, mental health, anything and everything that kind of like speaks to the core of your self-perception. And that has kind of refocused and refocused and refocused itself again and again, so that the the bullseye kind of went from body image itself to exactly, what affects body image. How do you see yourself? What do you see when you see in the mirror? That led to, going further still and realizing that it's mental health and how you feel about yourself. That's going to affect everything, and kind of set the tone for how you, your relationship with your body, your relationship with food, your relationship with healthy activity, etc. And so again and again and again, it kept finding itself. And ChingonaFest was born by accident. I was having a conversation with my daughter, who is now 7, and so this was last year. And the conversation became a column on LatinaMagazine.com. My column is in print and on the website weekly. The conversation stemmed from an incident with little girls, 6, 7 years old, who apparently, my girls was saying they were a little bit mean. And I wasn't with her at the time, so I don't know what happened, but I do know that she was extremely upset and she wanted to leave. Now, keep in mind, I live in northern Maine, so we're talking like, forever to get anywhere. So we've been driving for an hour and a half to get to this location. It was an apple orchard, and she wanted to go home, and I said no. I told her she basically had to suck it up, and we had to stay, because not everyone's going to like you wherever you go, and you either deal with it, or you just don't. What's the point of leaving the house? So basically, it was suck it up, princess. Mama, Mama's first real heart to heart with her kid. Now, that led to a column in which I called it. The title for that one was on Latina.com. I believe it ended up being 5 Ways to Raise a Chingona. And that I don't. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't write anything with an intention of pissing people off or getting the natives restless. I just write to write, and what happens to be in my head is what comes out at the time. Now, this one, 5 Ways to Raise a Self-Respecting Chingona, the reason that happened is because I was trying to figure out how to relay the lessons that took me, say until yesterday, to figure out about, it not mattering what other people are thinking, your self-focus, your self-view and self-perception being more important than, the little twit behind you who keeps on shooting spitwads at your head or something like that. All of the things and lessons and moments that kind of culminated in the aha moment where, as a person, as a woman, as a Latina, you figure out, all right, maybe things didn't go so well when I was growing up. Maybe I didn't, see things the right way, or maybe it took me forever to figure this out. So let's make it a little bit less difficult for the next generation by kind of helping guide them through and beyond the shit we have to wade through, and give them kind of a boost on knowing that their voices matter now, knowing that their feelings are validated now, knowing that they don't have to put the village before themselves when it comes to life, happiness, and all of that stuff that we were raised with. Um, so people got mad, or they liked it. Go figure. Here's the history of the word Chingona, if you don't know. Um, Now, Chingona is a Spanish word, but, and I'm going to clarify, it is Mexican Spanish, because anybody who doesn't, English, it's like English. There's words in English that don't make sense over in British English, and then there's the same thing over here. So it does not transfer all the way across. Chingona itself, the history for the word stems from, got to go all the way back to the conquest with Hernan Cortez, when the Aztecs got wiped out because they thought he was a god, and they basically welcomed him in, and his little army defeated this entire race of Native Mexicans, because they didn't know the difference, and they were already believing that he was, their future. Now, the word chingar, the root word, basically, from looking it up, it literally means to rape, to fuck with, and so the word for a lot of people is controversial because it automatically takes back, it speaks to the defeat and the end of one era and the beginning of another, and racial conflict and color conflict, and everything that you're looking at right here. I'm obviously, not white, but I'm obviously not just one ethnic, one DNA mix either. Mexicans, by definition, we're the Heinz 57 on the other side of the border. But so you say there's certain things you don't say in front of the PS, in front of your parents, in front of your abuelos. It's not what you do. It's not polite company. Proper ladies don't say that kind of thing. I'm obviously not a proper lady. Chingona has come since then to mean a variety of things. I used to hear my father use the word as kind of like, I always translate it in my head as like bitch. You can either be a bitch or you can bitch about something. Es una chingona, or te voy a chingar, I'm gonna F you up. So it's not a pretty word, in the sense that if you do not like to swear, you're not going to like the word. If you do not like the word bitch in English and cannot take that or appreciate the word as a compliment, which I happen to actually think it's a compliment when someone calls me one, whether or not they intended it to be, you're not going to like the word Chingona. You're not going to like the word ChingonaFest. But if you can take the word bitch as a compliment in English, you're going to be all about this. Now, what is ChingonaFest? Well, and how that happened? Well, Chingona has since come to mean like badass bitch, hellraiser, woman who knows what she wants, go-getter, against the tide, doing your own thing. You're the independent one. You're the one who maybe didn't get married right out of high school. You're the one that insisted on going away to college. You're the one that insisted on, getting your degree and, getting your first house and, maybe then having kids. You're the one who maybe suggested you and your husband hyphenate your last names together so that your children both have, they have both, their histories wrapped up in, their identities already. You're the one who's not just saying okay every single time. Anybody in a position of authority, an elder in your family, whom we are all taught to respect and listen to, no matter what. You're the one who's nodding your head and smiling when it's necessary to keep the peace, and kind of going ahead and doing what you want anyway. Um, and the thing that I want to clarify is you're not doing it in order to make people mad. You're not doing, you know, you're not going against the grain and hyphenating your last name with your husband because you want to make your family mad, because you want to make your family look bad. You're not the one that decided to uh, have sex out of wedlock and have a child, and have the child grow up to be 3 or 4 years old before you thought, okay, now I'm ready to get married, and maybe have that child act as flower girl or ring bearer in your wedding with the man you bore her with, him or her with. um, you're not doing these things with the intention of pissing off your family. You're doing them because they happen to be right for you. They happen to be the right decisions for you, and they're the decisions that make you that are leading you down the path to where you're going to find who you are, your path, not the one that's spelled out for you by your family, not the one that your mom and dad want for you. Um, you know, this is you. You're looking for you when you do this. The issue being, you tend to end up pissing people off anyway while you're doing this, because that's just kind of how it plays out. So it's a result, but it's not the intended result. And I say that because in searching for your ChingonaFest self, um, you're going to be having to deal with backlash from family, backlash from friends who might be a little bit more traditional than you are. Backlash from men you might be interested in, or women you might be interested in, which in and of itself is its own ChingonaFest conversation, because we all know how that works too. We come from a culture where family is everything, family is all, family comes before self, and appearances matter more than the reality. In many instances. Um, I'm not knocking being Latina. I'm not knocking being Mexican. I'm not um, trying to disrespect my family or my history when I say that. I'm just calling it like it is, in the sense that there's good and there's bad and everything. And the truth being here, yeah, we have awesome food. We have kick-ass music. We have, support systems that built in our families, built in, that are beyond what so many people I know who are from other cultures, other ethnicities. Um, we have killer parties. We're fun. We're outgoing. But we also have a lot of shit to deal with. I was 21 and had a curfew when I was when I was dating my husband before he became my husband. Because if my dad let me go out more than once a week, and I was allowed to see him, until midnight instead of 11 o'clock, he was going to be setting a bad example for my little sisters. I have 4 of them, so I was the guinea pig. I didn't have much of a social life in high school. I didn't know that MTV existed until I was 13. True story. Until then, I thought that my parents' car radio only played golden oldies, and my dad's tape player, cassette player, it only had, you could only put norteño music in it, right? Bubble childhood. That's what a lot of us have. I didn't start dating until I was 16, 15, 16. And, there's a lot I didn't do until later. There's a lot that was, kind of quashed, in the sense of, good little Mexican girls don't do that. That's nice. I'm a good little Mexican American girl. There's a hyphen there, and it needs to be recognized. And I think that's where ChingonaFest um, is resonating with people, and why people are, and why women are joining up and following along with the ChingonaFest Fridays interviews on aspiringmama.com. Weekly. I interview a woman who is up and coming, who is already making waves, who is, doing good in the community, in the world, in making things happen, who are following their dreams, the badass bitches who understand that when I say you're a bitch, I mean it as a compliment. Um, so I'm doing that on Fridays, and I've gotten some really good response, and people are really liking those, participating in them and reading them. Um, and so we've got that going on. We've got conversation with women who are enjoying the um, the back and forth with the Twitter parties that I was having for a little while online. But I thought it was time to take it up a notch and give it a shot with the live stream, which the intention there is to go to podcast. So weekly, the idea is live stream this week. Next week, do a new live stream and air the previous week's podcast. So give me 1 second here, 'cause I need to get my cord for my laptop because it's about to die. Because I'm all kinds of organized. Let me just point this out right now. If you know who I am, or if you don't, I'm all kinds of unorganized chaos, which is probably what I should have called the show. And I'm an idiot. So give me 1 second. Laptop's gonna die. I need my charger. I was waiting for something to happen. So that would be the husband. He's gonna go save my ass again. If anybody is here and has any questions, I'm looking forward to having you chat them up for me. So I put it in a box here. I don't see what's going on here. Here we go. We got making sure, because I had like 1%. I'm like, there we go. Thank you. I love you. Okay. Yeah, I know I'm an idiot. All right. Anyway, now he's gonna stare at me, and I have to pretend he's not staring. He's staring at me, you guys. He's giving me crazy eyes, like with the eyebrows and everything. Now he's crossing them. Don't do that. That's gross. Okay. So anyway, okay. I'm going to assume there aren't any kids watching because I'm saying bad words, but he's all being all silly over here. Go ahead, just go. Okay. All right, so now that that crisis has been averted and I actually have power, because, wow, my laptop says it's at 0% now. That is fabulous. 1 minute. Hey, I have power. Okay. All right, so I wanted to give you a little background on who I've got, what I've got planned for ChingonaFest itself, and people that I want to give a shout out to. Pauline Campos. We just tell people we're related. It's just easier. And I love her to death. And this morning I kind of referred to her as head ChingonaFest, cheerleader, because woman is, she's a life force unto, she's amazing. She's all full of spirit. She is all about raising others up, positive attitude, and she's one of those perky people. She's one of those rare perky people that I don't want to bitch slap 5 minutes into actually talking to them, which is kind of awesome because I love her. And she is right now kind of playing techie back up with a Twitter stream and letting me know if any questions come in. And I love her to death because she is always about helping celebrate and raise others up, which is, I think that's important to anything that we're doing. Um, Now, I've also got my regular kind of ChingonaFest crew on the Twitter parties that we were having. We've got Joyce Lee, Lucy. I'm sorry, I forgot your last name because I'm a jackass. We've got Heidi Zalamar, and we've got Joy Castro, and Alicia Gonzalez from 24/7 Modern Mom. Occasionally, when I'm able to wrangle them in, I'd like to have Lorraine C. Ladish participate. She's at viva50.com. Fabulous website. You know, kind of like, don't freak out when you turn 40 or 50 because she's going to show you how to live it up. Melanie Mendes Gonzalez, who is kind of like, Superwoman. I'm not really sure exactly what she does, but I've never seen her and Wonder Woman in the same room, so I'm just saying. She's Gay Means What on Twitter, and if you ever meet her, she's from Texas, and she sounds like she speaks Spanish, but she doesn't because Mexicans in Texas grow up with the regional the area accent, which means she sounds like she's fluent in Spanish. She's not. Don't make an ass of yourself. Do not assume every single person with a tan can speak Spanish. And don't assume everybody with blonde hair and blue eyes, can't, because then you're going to piss people off like, Lorraine or, Mayra Luque from Lupa Mamacita, because, they're pretty. They glow in the dark. They're pretty, but their Spanish is way better than mine. We got that. Who else? And Miss Elma Placeres Diepa. Occasionally, I'm going to see if I can tie her ass to a chair to get her in here because we have some hilarious conversations. If I forgot anybody, I'll remember you in 30 seconds because we all know how that works. I get distracted by squirrels all the time. Now, what do I want ChingonaFest to do, to be? Why am I telling you about it? Because, and I'm going to pull this up on my iPhone that I'm looking at here on my lap because I'm afraid to touch the screen and screw something up on the computer. So, now, ChingonaFest. I'm going to tell you my definition, and I'm going to tell you the mission statement that we've got, because the next step is it involves you if you're interested. I'd love to have the community come on over and build itself as we grow and learn to, who we are and interact with each other. It's work helped me build missions, the manifesto, because we're going to have one of those. Now, here is the definition of a Chingona. If I didn't mention, I swear sometimes. I say bad words sometimes. My daughter knows when Mama's mad, and she knows which words not to repeat. So if you don't like the F word, just pretend I'm actually saying fudge, because I like chocolate a lot. Okay, Chingona, noun, female, Mexican, vulgar. A formidable woman with whom others are smart enough not to fuck with. Okay, that's number 1. 2, badass girl. Then we've got the adjective version, the adjective definition for female. A term used to describe a self-respecting woman who knows she's got it going on. Basically, all you got to know right there. And that's what I want to raise my daughter to be. I want her to grow to be a Chingona. I want her to grow as a Chingona. I do not want to put I do not want to hand her my emotional suitcase, my suitcase full of emotional issues, and say, here, your turn, baby, take the torch, pass it on, figure it out, because I don't feel like pulling this behind me anymore. My issues are mine. And granted, she's going to pick up on some of them. Your kids are going to get just as screwed up as, the next one, because we're human, and as parents, we're inevitably going to fuck something up. Might not be the thing, we might actually be successful and not screw up the thing we don't want to screw up, the life lesson that we're trying to carry forward, but something's going to get jacked up. If you're not a parent, this pertains to you too, because you are influencing indirectly or directly anyone else younger that you have, irregular contact with. You're influencing your nieces, your nephews, your neighbors, 7-year-old daughter, 8-year-old daughter, your boyfriend's, fourth cousin twice removed if you see her on Sunday, at dinner or whatever's going on. Don't shut your ears and turn off your head or change the channel when you hear me referring to motherhood and influence and next generation, because if you do, you're going to miss something that you probably needed to hold on to for kind of keeping yourself in check in what you do and what you say, in how you portray yourself when in relation to how you want to be seen and how you want the next generation to grow. So, when I say when I say motherhood, I basically mean teacher. When you are teaching, when you're in a spot where you can teach, and that's pretty much everywhere outside of your home if you don't have children in it. So, that pertains to everybody. So, ChingonaFest mission statement. ChingonaFest, bitch redefined, which is the Spanglish hashtag I use, was founded by Latina magazine female advice columnist Pauline Campos. I sound kind of important when I say that. For the uninitiated, the word Chingona comes with a world full of cultural baggage and is seen as derogatory, even controversial. Chingona pizza, anyone? By many. The hashtag now represents a growing community of like-minded women bucking the cultural norms so many Latinas have been raised with, as well as the weekly ChingonaFest feature on SprayNova.com, which I told you about, which you're going to start reading, which you're going to start retweeting, and which you're going to start commenting on and submitting your own nominations, so I have less work to do and to make it more fun for you, right? Okay, good, yay. ChingonaFest is the collective voice of the Latina woman striving to raise her own unique voice over that of the collective cultural village that raised us. And we all have a village, okay? We want to be heard, and we want to raise our daughters to be Chingonas and our sons to respect them on purpose, because lessons learned as children are the ones we hold on to as we grow, which is true. And I think a lot of people learn that one a little late, that what you say today becomes the foundation for tomorrow's building blocks that the next generation is going to be using to build their self-confidence, their self-esteem, their self-perception, their views on the world, everything. So what you say and what you do is being internalized, whether or not you realize it. Just pointing that out, because that's exactly what happens. And I'm not perfect. I'm not pretending to be at all. If you read my blog or see my tweet stream, I typo like it's a freaking hobby. And I say things that are inappropriate sometimes. But I've never been kicked out of church, so I know when to not say the F word. But I try to do what I think is right every day. I try to put my daughter's needs before my own. I try, and I believe actually that doing so is why I'm sitting here. I've heard this from many people, that it was their kid or their relationship or it was something outside of themselves that encouraged them to kind of pull themselves out of whatever emotional, mental hellhole they have themselves in, and they then were able to pull themselves up to where they needed to be, where they wanted to be, and it helped them to grow, to stay grounded, to stay focused. If it hadn't been for my daughter, I wouldn't have pulled myself out of the eating disordered mental hell I had myself locked in. the body image, mental hell I have myself locked in. Um, I the depression that comes every now and then, which for me is in tandem with my ADHD. Hi squirrels, right? Um, and everything that I didn't have to do, don't have to do, didn't want to do. That was what she was doing. That's what she's my muse. She's the reason we do this. Um, she would be ground zero for ChingonaFest. And the reason that I say this is because I'm raising me again. Girlfriend is a spitfire. Drives me absolutely insane every day. Um, Usually up the nearest wall, and she's usually already got my last nerve in her hand, and she's dangling it like a cookie that is just out of reach. But she is now mentally where it took me decades to get to. She's confident. She says what she wants. She knows what she wants. She can hold her own in a room full of professional bloggers. She held her own at Blog Her this past a month ago. She held her own last year at Latism in the room with 100 top blogueras, social leaders and influencers. Walked right up to Kathy Murillo, Crafty Chica, introduced herself when I was getting ready to keynote at a luncheon, and said, "Hi, I like your purse. Did you make that? By the way, here's my business card. My name's Eliana, and I'm a blogger too. Can I sit down with you while my mom speaks?" This is. I would never have done that at her age. And so that's what I'm working on. I'm working on raising a little girl to be a badass bitch who happens to also understand the concept of self-respect and respecting others. That's the key here. I'm not raising a little brat who is rude, disrespectful, insensitive, uncaring, self-centered. I want her to always be aware of, herself, how she's portraying herself, how she's reacting to the world around her, and have her understand that she can have her opinion. She can question mama and daddy, but she better be doing what we tell her to first, and then question, because if she questions me first, that means she's actually trying to decide if what I told her to do is worth her doing it and worth her time. That's when we have an issue. There's a fine line, a juggling act, a balancing act, where occasionally I'm gonna miss something. I'm not gonna have made a point the way I needed to. She's not gonna get it the first time around. She's going to do something in public where people are going to look at me and go, "Whoa!" And you want to raise her to be a self-respecting bitch on purpose? I'm not really sure you're getting the message across. It's a give and take. We're going to have moments where things are awesome and things aren't, but I would rather be dealing with 5-minute conversations in the car, taking breaks from parties and outings, where I'm explaining to her why something she may have just said, in which she was just, stating something she was feeling, might have hurt someone else's feelings, as opposed to dragging her ass to a therapist or a counselor, or kicking and screaming to the emergency room when she's in college because she tried to do something stupid because she internalized everything. We've got a lot of that going on in our community. We've got, last year at Latism we had a panel on mental health, in the community. The reason we did that, and it was not, the room wasn't packed, but the people who were there were in the conversation, and that's because, and tell me the truth, okay? How often do you hear, anyone in your family, how often do you have a conversation with anyone who is actually related to you, about mental health? how often do you talk to people about, last week and how you were really depressed, or, how Robin Williams' suicide, affected you? Um, how often do you talk about, the dark days when you couldn't get yourself out of bed, or the, um, that summer that you might have decided, hey, I'm going to see, how many, sexual partners I can rack up, or, anything at all where, it's not family topic approved. How often do you talk about any of that stuff with anyone? Normally not very, I'm going to guess not a lot. We're not raised to air our dirty laundry. We are raised to sweep it all under the rug and todo bien. Everything's fine. Even if you just watched a cat got run over by a truck in the street, todo bien. Everything's fine whenever anybody asks you how you're doing, because it is whether or not it is. Because if it isn't, your mental health, your outlook, your words are not just are not just representing you, because we are not individuals. We are part of a whole. And when we reflect badly on ourselves, we reflect badly on everybody else. And that's something we learn before I think we can even articulate the thought. We learn that, you're supposed to, you line up and you give kisses to the entire family, including the people you're not really related to, but show up to everything anyway. So you might, they're fiancé you, and you don't, know until they're, you're 17 or 18 that, you're not really related to 15 people in the line of 30 that you have to kiss on the way out of every single family party you went to. You are taught that you don't talk about the bad stuff. Don't make a big deal about the bad stuff, because that big deal is then going to, make it seem like, parents didn't do right by you, your family didn't do right by you, your relatives didn't do right by you. You represent them. You are the sum of their, of their experiences, and you need to present yourself as such. So we grew up with a really heavy burden on our shoulders. We might not realize it's actually there, but it is. And as Latinas, as women, we tend to get a whole lot more shit piled on our shoulders. And I think you know that. So all I'm saying is that we need to work on celebrating our spirit, stepping up for ourselves, and reaching out and getting the support that we need and that others need by joining up together, and just saying, hey, it's okay to talk about this stuff. There's a reason we're talking. I want to start a conversation here. I want to have these live streams, these Google Plus Hangouts. I want them to be interactive. I want to have guests. I want to have a panel. I want to have someone monitoring questions, so that if questions come up, we can talk about them. So give me your questions. Whoever's on that happens to be for the topic, we'll talk back and forth. We'll go back and forth. I want this to be some place where we can all connect, so that I'm hopefully, providing a place, that I was looking for myself and couldn't find. I want, a place. It's not all about, just being Latina. It's not all about just being a woman. It's about being who we are, and in every sense of the definition of that phrase. And we happen to be hyphenated, and I think that's a really big part of it. We have both cultures that we're dealing with, and that we're balancing. And we're going to feel one more than the other at any given time, location, moment, because we are on both sides of it, and we need to recognize that. And we need to recognize that we're going to be here for each other. Um, so I want to. Oh, hi, Lucy on Twitter. Glad I have the opportunity to meet and become friends with Pauline Campos. Finally, women I can deeply relate to. ChingonaFest, and then pretty little emoticons. I love you, Lucy. Um, so we got that. And yes, my cell phone is usually in my bra, so don't call me. You know me, don't call me. Text me, tweet me, Facebook me. Um, don't call me because really I don't have time to talk to you unless you're paying me to be on the phone. I'm being honest. Um, so anyway, um, but I don't want these to be just me talking the whole time next time. Um, Unless you think I'm like super brilliant, but that's okay. Um, I want to be able to go back and forth and get outside perspective. Not every guest on the show is going to be Latina, okay? Because I am not just Latina. Neither are you. Um, we're not ever going to have a show that's entirely in Spanish unless I am lit off my ass before I sit down in front of the MacBook, because I used to speak both languages fluently, and then I started kindergarten. And English is my dominant language and has been since. And I'm not ashamed of that. So if you think that me not speaking Spanish enough makes me less Mexican or less Latina than you can change the channel, because I'm not listening. Um, but I do still speak Spanish to an extent, and figured out in college that if if I've had enough, I forget that I'm speaking English or that I'm speaking Spanish. I slip right into it. So, but I don't plan on being drunk for a show. So we're going to be doing them in English or Spanglish. Um, and Juliana I can never say her last name, girlfriend. Juliana Marulanda. There you go. Juliana Marulanda. She's Marula NY on Twitter, and she's an operations specialist, and she's kind of fabulous. Um, I like her because she talks like me. We have colorful conversations. And she's someone you need to talk to if you're looking to try and figure out how to get your ideas and your social media or whatever, your business, from idea to actual reality. And well, I needed the help because obviously I'm special. I've been talking about a podcast for probably 4 or 5 years now. Pretty sure I wouldn't even be sitting here right now if I hadn't been talking to Juliana. Um, so, hi, next level VA. Lisa Rodriguez, how are you? I should follow you right now, because if I don't, I am going to forget, because that's how I am. Social media, so that we can stay connected. We've got 15 minutes left. So I'm going to start addressing things that I kind of want to set into place so that we kind of know what's going on. And when I say we, I mean you, so you can remind me, because I'm going to forget 5 minutes after I say it. Okay, so, and I'm not lying. I don't say these things till I put myself down, because I'm a nonfiction writer, and, well, the truth is always funnier, because it's the truth. Okay, so, let's see. Where is... Oh, that's not... Oh, sorry, I'm looking at my phone so I can follow... There we go. I'm trying to follow the people who are just talking to me so that I don't forget, because if I don't follow you right away, I will not follow you back. And I don't mean it to be rude, I forget. So if you're following me on any of the social media channels, on Twitter, I am Pauline_Campos. C-A-M like Mary, P like Paul, O-S, kind of like compost pile, only not. And he's not there, and I'm not really made of garbage. Let's see. I'm also Pauline_Campos on Instagram. I believe I'm Pauline_Campos on Twitter. I'm sorry, Pinterest possibly, but that really doesn't matter, because the most popular pin over there is printables for my Wonder Woman's birthday party that I had for my daughter 2 years ago. So I'm really influential over there. Let's see. I'm also on Google Plus. Obviously, and you can follow me with on the ChingonaFest tab, which is ChingonaFest on everything else too. Or you can follow me on Google Plus. I don't know what's my thing. Is it Aspiring Mama? I think it's Aspiring Mama. Um, and where else am I here? Let me see. Looking at my phone for the stuff that I check. I am on LinkedIn, and my name, yeah, I'll tell you my name because I'm good like that. Um, is what? Pauline M, like Marion Campos is over there. Because there's another Pauline Campos whose name comes up in case it comes up occasionally. Don't just follow, look first. If you didn't look like me, she's a different lady. Yeah. On Skype, if you want to send me a message, you want to connect because we could possibly do some stuff over there in the future. I am Sparring Mama over there. No, I am not going to automatically friend you or accept you. You need to actually tell me who you are and why you want to talk first, okay? I am also, that's about it there. All right, so to find where you can find me online, what I do is blog, aspiringmama.com, aspiringmama.com. I blog. I try to blog Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. Fridays are definite. That's ChingonaFest Fridays. And when people ask me what it's about, I usually just tell them to read it because it's basically about whatever I'm happen to be thinking about there at the time. I've got the Latina column, which is in print, Dímelo advice column in print, and in the print edition every month, 10 issues a year. And I'm online, usually on Mondays with a weekly online column. I've got, so that's Latina, www.latina.com/Dímelo, Dimelo. If you don't speak Spanish, Dímelo basically means tell me about it. So now I tell people that I get paid for giving solicited advice. Don't get pissed off if you don't like the answer because you're the one that asked me the question. Kind of the way I'm looking at it. We've also got, where else am I? Is that it? Because like I'm a genius, right? Oh, right. I've got a Zazzle store. ChingonaFest is a shop name. Make sure your preferences are not set to strict. Put it to like the moderate one, the middle one, because bitch free to find is in my titles, and that's like a bad word, so you won't even see the stuff coming up that way. Instagram, you'll see a lot of my ChingonaFest quotes, the graphic quotes that I work with that I put together for products, t-shirts, sharing online, t-shirts, that kind of thing, and art. Etsy, I've got a ChingonaFest shop, and I've got a Mexican and Maine shop. The Mexican and Maine one is the one where I'm not swearing. I might be joining those up later because Juliana says that if you know who I am and you're looking for my art, you basically already know that I drop F-bombs like a drunk sailor, so you know what's the difference, right? Let's see. That's pretty much where I'm at. What I want to do is, like I said, do kind of like a piggyback where this week will be turned into a podcast. Next week, we'll have the podcast hopefully available, and work on during the remainder of this week to next week, work on putting together the next show, the guest, the topic. A couple of panelists to make the conversation, a little more interesting. And then, the following week, the one that we record next week, we'll just keep on going. So you've got a podcast and a panel and a Google Plus every week. I am open and willing to connect if you want to work with me privately. You can email me at aspiringmama.com or ChingonaFest@gmail.com. Anything from just talking through things, figuring out how to find your voice in your writing. If you're here, you probably already know social media, and if you're here and know social media, you probably have a pretty big luggage of emotional drama you're dragging behind you. Um, and that tends to sometimes put a little bit of a stopper on how comfortable we are sharing what we share as writers and bloggers. So let me know what you got in mind. We can figure things out. What I want to do is I'm going to be setting up I've got a Facebook page for ChingonaFest. I'm going to set up also to see if, where you guys happen to go and kind of tailor the conversation to be centered wherever you are most comfortable. And that's going to be, I'm going to set up a Google Plus ChingonaFest community. Basically, I want to be able to know that what I'm putting out there and what community members are getting from this and are contributing to is a positive, real, no bullshit community and conversation in which we can encourage each other and gather the support that we need for ourselves, to find our voices, to celebrate who we are, to have the courage to do maybe the thing that is not the most popular within our own personal real life circles, and to know that our happiness and the end result of what we're looking at, it's not the village, it's us. We are the ones living with us, and as much as it's painful to go against every fiber of our being in going against what we're taught as kids and respecting our elders, we need to know and we need to be able to take an honest look in the mirror, an honest look at our families and where we're at, and know that what we're doing, and every time we say yes to something or every time we say no to something, that we're saying that because it's what we want and not what we think others want to hear or want us to say. I'll give you a real quick example about that, because realizing this was, wow. I have a platinum wedding set. I say that not to show off, but because when we were talking about engagement, back in 2000, 2000, he asked me what color medal I wanted, and so he could know what to start looking for. Makes sense to me, right? Well, we dated for a year and a half, and then we were engaged for a year and a half. I told him, and I quote, and he confirmed this, he remembers me saying it, yellow, because that's what my family wears. Let that sink in for a second. I said yellow because that's what my family wears. I hate yellow gold. I didn't realize that I did, because that's all I wore. But after 5 or so years of marriage, 6 years of marriage, I'm looking and realizing that everything I'm wearing is sterling silver, because I like the color. I like that color of the metal better. I decided I wanted a platinum ring, so I wouldn't beat the shit out of it when when it was time to upgrade. We were doing an upgrade at 10 years, and so when it was time to start talking, I said, hey, hey, babe, we were talking about upping the diamond a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna be doing this too. I found a band, plain band, both. I want platinum. And he kind of was like, what? When I told him at the beginning, and then I was honest. I said, look, it's not a status thing. It's a self-realization. I was wearing what I thought my family wanted me to wear on our finger. That didn't represent us. That represented what I grew up with and what I grew up being told. I want us. I want me on, in what represented in what I'm wearing. And that's what we did. But that's exactly how, I think there's a lot to who we are now that we don't relate to as, being so closely tied to where we came from. And I want us all to be able to kind of talk through that, work through that. We're looking at, we can do weekly, we can get together, we can chat, we can, welcome each other into our regular circles, we can talk on the internet, we can tweet me, I will talk back. I'm not a diva about that. I want us to be able to connect. So talk to me, keep the conversation going, make some noise, use the hashtag ChingonaFest. And I'm going to put up a blog post probably and a Google Plus update with links, relevant links. Maybe do a little bit of crowdsourcing for topic ideas for what you guys have on your mind that you'd like to address, and see when we can work those in. And by all means, because I really think that we as a community are going to be able to provide each other with what it is that we are looking for. I really, really, really think that it would be awesome to have a ChingonaFest theme song. I don't care if it's if there are lyrics or not. Just something cool to start off and lead off and end each show with. And if you or anyone you know would be interested in put something together, I'm more than happy to give you all the social media love in the world. And if we can find someone, because I think that'd be kind of cool. So here's the plan. Next week, we're going to try for 2 p.m. Sunday, Eastern Standard Time, for the next ChingonaFest live stream. I'm going to do whatever it is I didn't do this time to make sure I can see other faces, and work on making sure that I've got other voices in here also. And we're going to alternate, what we talk about, who we talk about it with, and just have fun with it. So don't be shy. Say hi. Come back. Let me know what you want, where you'd like to see, where you would like to see things going, and make sure you follow and love Pauline Campos, Pauline C. Campos on Twitter. Mommy Free Teaches. We'll make sure, because I got to do this. So we've got Juliana Juliana Marula on Twitter, okay? JulianaMarula. Follow her. You need to know her. Pauline Carter Campos is Pauline C. Campos. Follow her. Just Pauline C. Campos, C-A-M-P-O-S. Follow her. Follow Lucy, because she's kick-ass. Lucy is UTEP27, UTEP27. No, I'm not saying the @ because in front of the name, because I've been on Twitter longer than 5 minutes, and it's a tweet, not a Twitter. Okay. You got, who else on here? You got to follow Heidiz, Heididiz, right? Is that because I'm going to spell it wrong. Follow Joy Castro _ JOY Castro. Yili Montilla, she was the first Chingona featured in ChingonaFest. PILIMONTILLA. And my most recent Chingona, you'll love her interview. Mayra Kupan Bon Mamacita. She's COUPONMAMACITA. And I've got more love that I'm going to be giving out on social media, later through links and such. But for now, we're going to call it, and hopefully between now and next Sunday, I will be able to successfully help or get someone to help me get this turned into isolated audio that can be used as a podcast for the intro, for that line of social connecting. And we'll have hopefully a weekly schedule going on that we can maintain and have some fun with. So I want you to have a good week. I want you to remember that ChingonaFest means to me and what it can mean to you, which redefined. You know, the word came from a bad place. I'm taking it and making it my own. I'm redefining me on my terms, and I hope to be able to help you get to the same place. Um, we're constantly working. We're trying every day, and I don't think I am anywhere near the point, and I don't think I will be ever to a point where I can look in the mirror and say I'm exactly who I want to be. Because if I do that, then I'm not trying for more. And I think we can always evolve and try for whatever it is that makes us feel good inside every single day. And that's what keeps us going. So we're going to keep on trying together and find ourselves and find each other and celebrate who we are when we find it. Have a good day, ladies, and if anyone is listening, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.